So guys, Daemonxel back again with a Eve Frontier video. That's right, the NDA has been lifted, and if you are thinking about picking up this game and trying it, just remember, currently right now, it is in alpha phase. It is, with founder access, you're going to have access to the game until it globally launches, which I don't know when that's going to be. But every couple of cycles that they go through, they release new content. So if you are thinking about checking out and do have that founder access, I have some tips to give you for your when you're first jumping this in for this cycle, as well as some frequently answered questions or frequently asked questions. Let's talk about it. All right, so we are talking about Eve Frontier. Yes, the new Eve game that is going to be coming out, which you can access if you do have a Founders Pack, Founders access to the game. Which, if you have not bought it yet and you are thinking about trying it, you can go ahead and use this referral code. It's given to me. It's going to give you some things, give me some things when the game launches itself. I'll put it right in the description of the video itself as well. Now, let's jump in. Let's do some frequently asked questions. So, one of the big questions I keep getting asked, especially during the stream the other day I had, and yes, I will be streaming this from time to time. There's no schedule currently, but I will be I'm probably going to do a stream today on the 12th, right after I record this video. And one of the main questions that were asked is this EVE Online 2.0? And the answer to that question is not really. This is kind of like EVE adjacent. And what I mean by EVE adjacent is it is different ships, it's different universe, kind of almost the same mechanics as EVE Online. So we got the same things. We have the same fitting. Let me bring the fitting window up here. Let's see here. There's the fitting window. So yeah, you still have the same kind of EVE style fitting, but there are some rules and mechanics that are different than EVE Online or EVE Echoes even. And that is the first PvP mechanic, which is line of sight. Now, what I mean by line of sight is if you are in an asteroid field, right? Say you're hunting a miner or you're a miner himself. When someone enters the system, if you are hiding behind the asteroid, they are not going to see you. It's not going to come up on your UI. You're not going to be able to see it on your screen. You're not going to be able to see it on your tactical menu. You will not see them until you actually have line of sight to that ship. It works the same way as firing mechanics. So if you're firing your cannons, your laser cutters, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but if you're using these weapons, right, you still have to have line of sight on the thing that you are shooting. In other words, if you're in a dogfight, yes, you can duck behind a structure and take a break from getting shot at. You can duck behind an asteroid. Same mechanic applies. Now, this also applies in fleet fights, which means if your wingman, while you guys are shooting the target, flies in front of you, well, you're going to light your wingman up. It's just how this goes. Another mechanic is actual physical dynamics. What I mean by that is you will not stop on a dime. You will always be kind of in motion when, to come to a complete stop. This is a survival MMO. And what I mean by survival MMO is in EVE Online and EVE Echoes, you really don't need to worry about fuel. In this game, you do. You have to worry about your capacitor, which you also have right here. But fuel is the name of the game. You always need to have fuel in your ship. You have to be fueled, because if you run out of fuel, you cannot warp away. You are stuck there permanently until someone brings you more fuel, or if you have the materials to refine and build things to make fuel. There are different types of fuel in this game. There are ships that use your standard fuel, right? This is this D1 fuel, which you can refine from ice, and you will be able to make different fuel for higher grade ships in something called rifts. In these rifts, you will mine them with specific lenses, which are basically your ammo for your laser cutters, and you'll be able to mine something called crude, young crude, old crude, but basically that refines into this higher grade fuel, which you can use for the other ships. Now, in this new build, they changed a lot of things from the previous game. Before, we had a button, you could just press U and you'd be able to warp to different things in the universe. You'd be able to see it kind of like in a wheel around your ship. This time, they built a whole new camera system Right now we are in the ship cam, but if you zoom out, you'll automatically go to your tactical view, or you can press F2 or use your mouse to click the tactical view, and you'll be able to see it. Now, in this tactical view, you can see everything that's on your field, where it is, what it is, in a 3D generated version of it. So it's basically like your ship's AI kind of showing it on the computer. Now, this will also affect tracking when you are tracking a ship. So if we're in this tactical menu, right, and I see someone warp in, or they duck behind a structure, these structures are too small, but if they duck behind a main structure, they will disappear from your screen. You won't be able to shoot them until they reappear again, and you'll see the repositioning once you have line of sight on them again. And what I mean, and this is also, like I said, a survival MMO, so we have the fuel. Now, something else they added in is a heat gauge, and this is actual real-world physics in action, or environmental effects. So the closer you get to the sun, the hotter it is going to be, that force exerted on your ship. If you go into extreme heat, your ship will stop working. I haven't tested the theory about just staying at the sun until it goes red. I don't know if your ship will melt or blow up. I have not tested that yet. I will test it in the cycle, because in this alpha phase, nothing is being carried over. They will, whenever they do a new cycle or a new version, they will wipe the servers and everyone starts over again. Currently, right now, there was a bug in the first 24 hours. It's been fixed. So my first tip is to follow the tutorial, because in this tutorial, you will see that you are in a self-contained system. There are no gates to get out of the system. You actually have to build the ship, which I'm in now, this ship here, and you'll be able to use your jump drive to escape the system and go to the bigger universe. Let me bring up the big universe to show you what I mean here. This is the galaxy, right? This is the universe that we're at. Now, each of these dots is a system that you can travel to. Obviously, you can't get right there, but does that mean there are no stargates? There are stargates, but like I said, these are star systems where nothing is attached. There is no gates. But if you go to, let's go further out. See, now they are interconnected. So there is gate systems here, which you can access to bring you to that system. This bubble that is around your ship currently, that is your jump drive. That shows you anything in this bubble, any system I can see, I can point to or collect that are in, well, let's go to, let's say this one here, right? It's in my bubble here, so I can jump to that system. In the beginning, what you want to do is you are going to want to at least jump to a system that has some gates, so you should be able to free explore around the area, so you're not wasting fuel. This brings me up to tip number 2. Tip number 2, always have the ore in your hull that you can build a refinery. You might not so much need a printer, because you might find the ore along the way, but you're going to at least want the refinery so that if you do run out of fuel for your ship, if you're in one of these starter ships, you can reprocess and make more fuel. Now, currently right now, let's see, let me find my setup here. Second, it's around here somewhere. These are my structures. These are the structures I built, put into place. These are you're going to go through the tutorial. It's going to show you all of these. I got a printer, and that's how you're going to be able to build ships, build engines, build modules. Another tip to this game: any ship that you're in, any ship you build, will only have the hull. Okay? You're not going to have armor. You're not going to have shields until you fit a module that's going to give you that. So there are no inherent properties of shield or armor on any of these ships. The first things like I said, the first thing you're going to build is a refinery, because that's what you're going to do to make. Let's go ahead and interact with this. Now, this isn't the best output. The best output you're going to get is a large refinery, and that's down the road. I'll make a tutorial on that later on. But right here, right, water ice is going to create D1 fuel, and that's what we need to fuel this bigger ship, to be able to jump us out of this system that we're in. And you can do that by getting carbonaceous, or I'll go through the different systems and stuff like that, different types of fields, that sort of thing. This is going to take me into yet another tip. Now, on your inventory, right, you want to go to these 3 dots here next to the X, and you want to, right now I have it enabled, but what you want to do is you want to enable always above the full screen views. Now, what I mean by this is every time that you go into your printer or you go into your refuge, your not so much your storage, but your printer, your refinery, it's going to give you a full screen. Now, also be advised, this is also going to take you away from what's around you. So if you are in a hostile situation of enemy ships in the system, you're not going to be alerted if you're being fired on. So you're going to want to at least, keep some eyes in the back of your head. Now, we enable that so that once we click over here, we can just hit the I button and our inventory is out. Another tip is to have your portable storage within reach, within 2 km of at least your refineries that you're using. Because what you can do is you can just take from your portable your portable storage, and pop it right into your refinery with not having to worry about, oh, do I have enough storage in my hull, right? Or in my cargo? Do I not have enough of cargo space here? So the output, however, in other words, whenever you are doing a job and you basically say I'm refining oil here, right? You need to know how much M3 you're pumping out. So I did a job before where I just, I stockpiled a bunch of fuel. It gave me, I think it was something like around 1,300 M3 capacity. It was way too much for the cargo in my ship. So what I had to do is I had to right-click my refinery, dismantle to the cargo container. So the nice thing about this is whatever you have in there, whatever you have that's waiting for you to press start or whatever, or your output, whatever, you can just dismantle it. Your items that have been refined will go into one cargo unit, and the ore that you made to build this is going to go into another cargo container. So you're going to get all your materials back. So don't worry about that. You're not going to lose anything. But that's just a tip right there, so that you don't have to worry about, well, I don't have enough space in my ship. How am I supposed to get this over? Let's see what else I got. Okay, so we talked about the tactical cam. There's another cam in this called the system view, and you can do that by F3 or just hitting this button up here, and that's going to give you a view of the system itself. Now, there are different things in this system. There are Lagrange points. Those are these big tiles here, right? These are what we call L points. This is where you can anchor down large structures. This would be a base. This would be a large printer or a large refinery. This way, it's always there. You can always warp to it, and there's only so many of these in a system. It's kind of like POS slots, right? For Eve Echoes, how you only have so many slots in a system to anchor a POS down. This is basically the same feature. Now, any of you that watched my stream yesterday saw the madness, because there was a bug where a lot of these asteroids were not respawning. So we would go down into it, we'd have to click down and click down. So right here, right, we see two objects, click down. Oh, it's this. There's a better way of doing this. And what you can do is just right click. Let me just click over here. See, we got 19 objects here. If we right click this, it's going to bring everything up in there. So if you're looking for something specific, you can just go to your system view, go on each of these objects, hit right click it, and you'll be able to see if what you're looking for in that system is available to you. If not, you can move on to the next system. There's a lot of PvE, there's a lot of PvP in this. Something for everyone in this game, especially builders, indie, everything. Let's go into one of my next points here, and that is, again, with the tactical view. Whenever you are warping into a site, whenever you are warping into, let's just do that. Let's just warp into a site now. What I like to do is I like to, as soon as I arrive, hit that tactical map so I can see everything that's in that site, whether it's line of sight or not. But this way I'm not spinning my camera on trying to see, okay, what's there? What am I, is there going to be a hostile there? What's going on? So we're going to arrive here. Now there should be some NPC drones probably mining these asteroids. All right, if not, we're going to hit F2, go to our tactical menu, and we can see exactly what's here. So we're not surprised as soon as we land, right? And we can see everything that's there. All right, we spoke briefly before about jumping to another system, right? To start our adventure. Again, work through the entire tutorial so you can jump, and then you're going to be able to explore the galaxy. Whether you want to play this solo, you can play this game solo. Whether you want to be with a tribe, which is basically this game's version of corporations, join them, because you can make your own star systems, your basically your own stargates, that is only available to your corporation. There's a lot of interesting things you can do in this game. But my one tip to you guys is, and we're gonna shoot out right here. We're gonna scroll out to the system view. If you are going to jump, as you see, my heat is rising, right? Because we're closer to the sun. You want to get as far away as possible from the sun before you jump out of the system. This way you can control your heat, because you don't want to jump and all of a sudden you are overheated and you can't do anything. So my one tip is, before you jump to another system, make sure you are away from the sun, that your heat gauge is down. So that's basically all I have for you currently right now if you're just delving into the game. These are just beginner things to worry about, just a little quality of life things to make your foray into this universe that much easier, that much, I guess, effortless. So you're not worrying about what's going on. Oh, that's right. I took the UI down. There we go. So I'm back to this little area, and I have all my building things. So before I jump to my next system, I am going to make sure I take down my refinery so that I have the ore. So when I jump to a new system, God forbid I run out of fuel, at least I can pop a refinery, go mine some new things that I need, and you know, continue on my journey. In other videos, we're going to talk about modules. We're going to talk about setups, builds. Another thing you want to know about this game is there are no skills. Currently, right now, there's no skills in the game. So everything is going to be build reliant. So whatever you build your ship, however you build it, if you have a great fit, that's going to probably ensure your survival. So you don't have to worry about being outgunned by someone that's been playing the game a lot longer than you, that has better skills. No, you just have to worry about who has the better fit, if you're going to be able to take that fight, and whether you're tactical enough to be aware of what's around you. So in other words, yes, he may have a bigger ship with a bigger rep, but if you can out DPS him, you're great. So just duck behind some structures, lead him along so that you can be able to ensure that you are in control of your fight. So if you guys have any questions, throw it down in the comments, whatever you guys want to see. If you have some ideas for videos, I'm also going to do some interview videos with people who are a lot more knowledgeable than I am about the programming side of this game, because yes, this game will be moddable. They're leaving it open source so that everyone can do something in this game. So look forward to those videos. And again, if you guys have any ideas of what you want to see fit-wise, if you want to see me go over the ships, what, like, building situations, stuff like that, let me know in the comments below. And until I see you guys again, have a great weekend, have a great week, fly safe, and remember, here on this channel, we are always one vision, one purpose, one front. See you guys later.